protection.
You know, back in the day, that's how they started. It was like a feed filler, wasn't it? That went like that either way.
Yeah.
Just swung.
Yeah.
I think I still see a few of those on auction and stuff.
Please enter your participant or moderator code followed by the pound key.
Probably 100 bushels or something.
Please say your name followed by the pound key. You are the first participant in the conference.
Pretty much. I think he's gonna clean up a couple edges this morning and then move on. Switch it all over.
Yeah, it's been good weather for that.
Oh, yeah, it's been amazing.
I don't know where they were talking. Somebody was saying yesterday at the thing out there, they're predicting thunderstorms. And I'm like, I don't think so.
I don't think there's anything at all.
10 o'clock.
My phone shows a potential for even some severe weather. It has the alert on there.
Yeah.
But it says 1% chance of rain for today.
Yeah.
It's like,
It'd have to be.
you can't have both, can
It'd
you?
have to be a pop-up.
Windy is all I saw. It's supposed to be windy.
coming.
Storms possible this evening. And it show, oh no, it's up to a 2% chance of rain today with a thundercloud in the evening.
Oh, it's multiplying then.
It's what?
1 to 2, that's a multiplication.
Oh,
It goes up to 38% at 10 p.m. But how can you have 38% at 10 p.m. and have a 2% chance for the day?
I don't get that.
Yeah, I've never had figured out how this works.
No, you take the total number of minutes and the possibility of rain is just at probably
That's
10
what it
o'clock.
comes down to.
Well, let's say the pledge today. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For approval of the minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensvold, seconded by Derby to approve minutes and agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Scott, right off the bat. Hey, good morning, Scott. We're ready for you. Thank you.
So you were planning on bringing your laptop today then? For
Yeah, I can.
Now you're in a dial.
You have the
Oh,
presentation.
thank
I
you.
don't quit.
Oh,
So I did download it on a flash drive.
Okay,
Just use
I didn't
that.
even hear that.
sure.
It's buried in there under EMS and
You know, I can hear things,
Mm-hmm.
but I always don't
she said
understand
something about
like
cables.
words.
I do have
Especially if there's
cables.
background
They have all the cables
Oh.
over there that,
What did you say?
It's all that equipment. Yeah, that groundbreaking was pretty well attended.
Yeah, there was quite a few people there. And
I don't think I know that gentleman from KIOW
Carl?
with the blue shirt on.
Carl was the only one from KOW that I saw there.
Yeah,
Was that Carl?
It's just
Wilson?
Rollage,
I did not know him. I mean, I know him, but I.
he's my first cousin.
Oh,
Julie has joined.
okay. First cousin.
His mom and my mom were sisters.
Okay.
He's probably squirming right now that I said that on YouTube.
Oh.
Well, Carl, I hate to defame you like
But what was your mom's maiden name?
that. Camish,
Oh,
used to be
I knew that.
Camish Ford.
Yep, I knew that. I just sometimes don't put stuff together.
There, it was Camish in '75, wasn't it?
Still was in, and maybe even into, Grandpa died in 74, and then my uncle, they wouldn't let Frank sign a contract before because he was too young Frank. And then, so that my dad was gonna, but then they didn't,
That would have been our first four-wheel drive pickup, was a 75 Ford
Yeah.
150.
So then they wouldn't let Dad sign a contract either because he didn't have enough, even though we sold international pickups, and Scouts and stuff. They wouldn't let him sign the contract so Frank could run the business. And so then they ended up getting Gary Tharp in there. And take long before Frank wanted to get away from that.
Found out that Dan DeVries from Lake Mills works for Grove.
Mm-hmm.
He's big into the Jeeps. The one Jeep he has, a cab over Jeep, is one in existence. There was 8 made, and the other 7 are buried up in Alaska.
Buried in Alaska,
He's got a
They know
lot
where
of
the
cool
location is.
Jeeps.
a cab over Jeep,
Yeah,
really.
he's got quite a few Jeeps actually.
And they're FC, the ones that he likes to collect the most are, I don't know what FC means, but forward something?
A friend of mine from Manchester works for
Google it and find out.
a company in Dubuque that overhauls or redoes those Jeeps. They're
Oh,
good
yeah,
friends.
I would think that thing would be worth a lot of money if it's the only one in existence.
Above ground anyway.
Is there anything else we could look at while we're waiting for Scott?
Oh, there's transfers, I suppose.
Handy at all, Carla?
There's a little one here.
Here's the quarterly report also.
Okay.
I'm assuming this, does say 30,000. The first part of the 3 is kind of cut.
Just go over it with your pen.
But it's typed out otherwise.
Yeah, our typewriter is getting bad.
Oh, these are typed then?
Yeah,
Mhm.
The old fashioned way, huh?
yeah.
There's a paper clip here somewhere.
What do new typewriters cost these days?
I don't know, I'm looking at one. We bought a new one when Jane was using them quite a bit, and it died already, so they don't last
Don't
like
make
the
'em
old
like they
ones.
used
Got
to.
the one from the Forest Theater if you're interested.
We've got a old one from our store from years ago, the old mechanical, and then we've got one old cash register. Must have been one of the first electric cash registers.
Oh.
It's got a great big crank arm on it. And I put that on the shelf in my dad's, there's a pallet shelf in his garage, and told him, I says, I'm not moving it by myself again.
Stay in there.
I think it's it.
All
So,
right.
the agenda item, roads, yeah.
Yes.
I'll give you a project update first. Our paving project north of Lake Mills, they are putting on shoulders as we speak. They started yesterday and hopefully be done by the end of the day tomorrow. Looked to me like maybe they might take another day yet. And then paint and rumble strips to follow, and that project will be closed out. So hopefully in the next few weeks we can get all that kind of going. Our guys are working on G14W1 now. Now that we got our fan back in the excavator and all of our machines running, they're diking off the river today. And working on setting the bottom and hopefully have the pipe down in the hole by the end of the week. We're pumping a big creek there, so hopefully everything goes okay. We don't get a downpour or something that blows our dikes apart. And if everything goes good, end of next week, things should be in pretty good shape on that project. I guess we'll see how the backfilling goes. The pipe requires a little bit more delicate backfilling than box culverts do.
It's a lot of dirt moved out there.
But pretty good, the water's way down right now, so that's
Yeah,
a big help,
Yeah.
for sure. Not saying that that thing can rise really fast too, so.
Yeah, but I think we can take a pretty healthy rain yet, and not have the creeks race, it's dry out there.
The ground's gonna absorb most of it.
Yeah. As long as you don't get any 5 inches, we should be all
Across from-
so what will that be rated when it's done?
It's legal, I guess.
Just,
We will not have any postings or anything. And I probably wouldn't ever worry about it unless we had maybe wind farm traffic that we would
right.
analyze
I'm
it
just
for.
gonna say, what is it rated for it to actual take?
I can't answer that. I mean, it's rated for HL 93, which is a standard in the industry for bridge construction, which is the loading type, but I can't tell you much details about it.
I suppose when you have the turbine traffic, it's gonna be spread out enough to where it won't matter as much, will it?
We'll just have it analyzed if we get to that point, but, for any farm traffic or ag traffic or
You'll be able to have
excavators,
two-
construction traffic.
2 loaded semis meeting each other on it in theory, so that was in their rating would include that, so.
Yeah, so we won't have any, if vehicles are out there that are legal on any other roads, they'll be fine to cross it. If we have some unusual loads to take across there, which I wouldn't think we ever would, we most likely would route around it, then we could always analyze it for whatever. So, just like any other box culverts or whatever, we pretty well leave them alone, and they won't ever be posted unless there's some sort of failures that show up. All the grain you can haul across there.
it's always been kind of a curious spot because we have 2 fields, one on each side of the ditch, and one field always had to go south, and the other field always had to go north. So this will be nice there.
Yeah, you'll be able to turn both directions. Nice driveways, no guardrails.
That's all that one got. Little pole. Yeah, now.
It will be nice though, but Derby bin site is right there too, so they're gonna really appreciate that with full.
Johnson.
Yeah, I know, but it'll always be Derby to the rest of us.
See, they just moved a bin in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they've been working in there, it seems like, the last couple of weeks.
See, other projects, so as you know, we opened our E42 box culvert bridge replacement project, and the first patch wasn't so great, so we had to return the next day and give her another try, and now it rides pretty good. So if you took that road in on Tuesday last week, had a little bit of a Humpty Dump in there, so
Still got
a little bit. It's really hard to do a good job on patches.
You don't notice it so much with a vehicle, but I've been across it with my truck a couple of times.
Yeah, like the further to the very outside edges too, it's worse just because over time, the existing road rolls down on the edge, and when you put a patch in, it's flat. So there's always gonna be that little shaping point right on the edge of the outer foot. Yeah, I wish it were better.
I've driven across worse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do patches like that tend to shift from each other than the 2 sides?
How do you mean?
Well, like with concrete, you tie it together with rebar, where here you've got, it's asphalt, right?
Right, so they just tack the edges with the asphalt and kind of glue them, basically. I've never seen them shift at the joint, like you do concrete. I've never seen that, so it must, they must behave pretty similar to each other, new and old asphalt, and stick together pretty well. And it's hot too, so it heats the edge when it's placed in there.
Sometimes the difference is the way the base was created.
Sure, that could easily be, and we don't know what was under the road. I mean, combination of things, and what's under our patch is clean stone and then road stone, and is very hard. And then the box isn't very deep either, so I expect it'll move. Maybe forever. Concrete patch in Buffalo got completed, and
Yeah, that's nice.
that's all done.
I won't have to hear about that one.
Yeah.
That was a much more extensive fix than anybody was expecting, I think.
Yeah. It's really hard to get anything to stick in a concrete pothole.
Yeah.
Asphalt doesn't really like to stick to concrete the way it does to
And that
asphalt.
was really smooth. Now if you can work in the transition from the black cement to the blacktop right there, there's kind of a hump
Little
there.
bump there, yeah.
I'll get over
You gotta quit doing projects on your front doors, all you got, we're critics.
it. Yeah.
I think that's all the updates I have for projects. I will say we are expecting the gravel crushing to begin in the next few weeks. Supposed to be in there to start pumping anytime. So, that's something we'll see soon. I think that's all I got.
Stockpiling in Buffalo, trying to get that done before put snow equipment on, but kind of running into a snag right now. BMC's running low on 1 inch, so
Oh, is that right?
yeah, I have to switch to Garner. So,
We got a lot of it going out, is that it?
I don't know. I know they blasted, so they're gonna be crushing again. I don't know if they're crushing a different size right now or what they're doing down there, I guess. I don't know if a bunch of people came in too while we weren't there.
Yeah, usually they have a pretty good stockpile there, I guess if it gets whittled down.
Yeah. Seems like every year they kind of whittle it down to nothing and then start all over again, but I don't know their full process, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know how easy it is to switch from one to the other, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the machine probably sits in the same spot all the time, they just haul the raw material to it, I would guess.
Their crusher?
Yeah.
Well, it seems like they're always moving it around.
They do move it,
Yeah.
I've never actually, is the crusher set up high or is it down in the hole?
Down in the hole.
Okay, yeah, I've never been down
Yeah.
to look at it.
It's pretty cool.
It would be interesting to see go there with a vehicle sometimes so I could drive down there. They may not let just.
They don't really let anybody go
Yeah,
around there.
I think I've seen it from up above, looking down,
Yeah.
especially one time I had to go all the way around to the north side to get something.
Some sand back there.
Yeah, I wasn't seeing it. So-
Put on the agenda, a field trip.
There we go,
I'll
yeah,
get to go
field
see
trip, yeah, they'll probably take us out if we want.
Bring
Yeah.
your high visibility and help hard hats.
All right. If there's nothing else for secondary road, consider for approval utility permit to bury LP service on 40th Avenue.
Three,
Pardon me?
we've done number three, haven't we?
Oh, what?
Didn't we? Sort of?
No, that was, we did number 2.
Oh, sorry. I just jumped around. Well, we're on 4 now.
Do the utility permit.
Is that all right?
Yeah, so this is a little bit unusual that there's LP lines in the right of way, but Osmus Farm Supply up there by Rake has facilities on both sides of the road. So
And they,
several years back, they buried some lines connecting the older, newer buildings. And so now they're building a new facility again and extending gas main in the right of way, north little ways and then across the road. There's a tile buried in that same right of way, so they're boring their entire line, and we've asked them to do it 15 foot deep.
Get everything hooked to the same big tank.
I guess.
Yeah. You've got a pretty good sized tank. It's a 30,000 or not? Pretty good sized one. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the utility permit to vary LP service at 40th Avenue.
Second.
A motion by Jensvold and a second by Derby to approve the utility permit. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. Number 3, consider for approval purchase of equipment for the secondary road department.
So we're looking way ahead for fleet needs, right? And lead times on trucks are, well, we're hoping if we order now, that sometime in Q3 of next year, we would have the new truck chassis. So, 9 months to a year or so. So that gets us into the next fiscal year's budget, fiscal year 2024, and makes it a little bit awkward that we're approving purchases for a budget that we haven't approved, but it's about the only way to do it with the lead times that we have. If we wait until the budget's approved in April, will be the following April, which would be okay, except if there's any delays, then that puts us into the following fiscal year. So, my thought is, since this is the first equipment purchase for the next budget, it's going to fit pretty well within unless we slash the equipment budget heavily from the last few years. So we've been around $400,000 to $500,000 a year in new equipment purchases, and this gets us started with $133,777 for the chassis, and also authorized in this resolution would be getting it outfit with a dump body and snow equipment. I got $115,000 written in here. We're working on getting some pricing. It's kind of hard to do until you say you're going to buy it. So we got to buy the dump body, the snow equipment, the hydraulics. Does that kind of cover it?
So it's at like 250 then?
About 250 is what kind of we're shooting for. Now we've gotten snow equipment before, but we've never bought the items and installed them ourselves, which is what we think we're going to do if everything works out. So we don't know what the labor price was from the installer. If it was maybe 20,000 or something like that, we don't know what that number is. That's going to make it cost a little bit less. But with all the inflation, it might just kind of wash out to nothing. So 250 is kind of what we think for a target on this one. Once we get the truck ordered, then we can get snow plow equipment and a box ordered. And we've had a little bit of conversation with those dealers, and one of which said they're trying to follow the truck delivery dates with their snow plow equipment so that they don't have stuff sitting around waiting for trucks to be built and vice versa. So we think once we get that chassis, we can have snow plow equipment there around the same period of time, and have a truck ready to go by the first of the year.
So do we have a trade for this or what?
They weren't willing to give us a trade price, but I guess we will approach them about that when we get to the closer to delivery date and see if we can arrange for that kind of thing.
How old is the truck that's being replaced?
2006.
Miles are on that.
And that one has 336,000 right now. By the time we get to the trade, it'd have another year's worth of miles on it. depending on how much it plows snow, maybe 15 to 30,000, well, it wouldn't be that much for a winter, but for standby. I don't know, 10,000 miles.
Yeah. Be our last Sterling that we have in our fleet, which would be the annual transmission, the paddle shifter. The rear end of the box has been cut off and replaced twice now from rusting out. It's on its second or third skip.
So all the Western Stars in the fleet then.
Yeah, all Western Stars in our main fleet, Freightliners and our family ships,
And all the
automatics. And,
automatics, similar
yep, all rear wing.
blade functions and stuff.
Yep. Kind of uniforms our whole fleet.
Makes it easier to get from one truck to the other.
Yep. Well, they'll all be rear wings now, so like the Sterling, the last one is a front wing, so your belly blade is always dribbling off to the side, and it takes one more round with that truck to get it done, and
Yeah.
sometimes it can hurt you depending on the wind. And
Was that new when we bought it, that 2006, do you know, or was it used when you bought it?
Everything we bought has been new,
New.
you know, in the past.
Used stuff, yeah, it would be like graders or something.
Yeah, the two graders from Duluth, yeah. There's 3 of them?
yeah, that one that Marcus has also was used.
Well, I think we're gonna have to probably start the process, get in mind. I'd make a motion to approve the purchase of equipment for the secondary road department.
Standardizing the equipment makes it a lot easier for everybody. It's rusting out on the back all the time. Do the new ones, do they make them where they don't rust out so bad?
The last couple that we bought are stainless steel boxes.
I was gonna say. I'll second his motion.
We have a motion by Derby to approve the purchase of equipment for secondary roads, and seconded by Jensvold. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Duplicate resolutions there, 2 to sign, so I can give one to Carl. We don't have another one planned, another truck for 2 years, then too, before a little break.
So if my math is right, we put on 21,000 miles a year on one of those?
We say, I don't know, rule of thumb is 30, but you know, some of the guys put a lot more miles on because they pretty much stay in the truck all summer long in Haul Rock. And other guys have a little bit different role and run other equipment. And then the other thing is, once they turn to a standby, we have them for several more years, but they don't get near the mileage.
So do they typically drive like their own truck?
Everyone's assigned their own. I mean, there's a couple that get bumped around for different guys that aren't in them, and we'll use them also.
Okay.
It's kind of my truck. 1.8 million in the first 20 years, and the last 2 years, it's only had 40,000.
Yeah, so it still gets older, even though it doesn't get the mileage. Yeah, I mean, I think it used to be where our standbys got a lot more mileage just because our rest of our fleet wasn't as good. I think our truck fleet's improved in the last 10 years.
My truck was built in July of '92, so this July it was 30 years old.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
And how many miles is on it?
just about 2
Oh my gosh. That's crazy, isn't it?
And I still wouldn't be afraid to take it over the road.
Mm,
Well, I've got to pull the fifth wheel on. Getting some rust issues between the frame and the fifth wheel plate, or the mounting bracket.
Just don't take it to New York City where they inspect them as they come in,
Oh, is that right?
the buses.
So is
Oh,
there
yeah, that track, yeah.
anything else, gentlemen?
Don't think so.
I think so.
Appreciate the approval. Let's get some wheels in motion here on this thing. That'll take some time to come to fruition.
Pick out a pretty color.
Yellow.
Our standard yellow, yeah.
All right.
Now I can take some more heat for, you guys have too fancy equipment.
Yeah, you always get compared to Worth County whenever anybody says that to me.
Yeah, I always say, we're not replacing the second best truck, we're replacing the worst one. And those are the trucks people don't always see, because they're getting put back together and getting fixed, and just to keep them ready to be able to plow snow. And same with our pickups,
I can get by with an old truck, but when you got something that goes down and you got 5 or 6 guys that can't work because something broke, that's when it's nice to have.
Yeah, no kidding, that's like that fan for the excavator, we were just all out of sorts, trying to get something done without our machine running.
Oh, yeah, it's a raccoon guy, is that it?
Yeah.
Expensive raccoon.
Yeah, really. Happens quite often though.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we did get lucky. It didn't wreck more stuff, but
Yeah.
we got taken out the radiator pretty easy. But
Copies.
luckily it was just a couple $100 fan, but a couple $100 fan cost 2 weeks. And
Come from
Germany,
Georgia or Germany even.
Yeah.
Wow.
there was 6 in Germany, and there was none in the United States.
It's kind of like the bolt that just got with the combine last night. We go all the way to Owatonna for $16 worth of parts. So they didn't have any in the state of Iowa.
Yeah,
It's just like, but we haven't had a meat tweet in over 2.5 years, so I guess we should feel better.
All right.
all right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Anybody want to make the motion for the auditor's transfers or the payroll?
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's quarterly report.
No,
The recorders?
The recorder's quarterly report.
Yep.
Did I say report? I meant to say recorder.
We knew what you meant.
Yeah.
But not YouTube did, so we just said sorry.
Mm.
I will second that on the recorder's report.
We have a motion to approve the recorder's quarterly report, and a second by Jensvold. All in favor? Aye.
All right,
Passed.
I'll make a motion to approve the auditor's transfers.
I'll second it.
Motion by Jensvold to approve the auditor's transfer, seconded by Derby. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right. Drainage matters, huh?
Still distracted. Let me jump around.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah.
Hey, Chris, we're ready for you.
It's just not a normal 80. You know, I understand. When you got it in one-dimensional mind, like, can't do that multitasking.
Good morning.
Morning.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good. I don't have anything today. Knock on wood,
I don't think I do either. It's awful dry. Drainage problems can't show up.
right? So we'll wait for some rain and see how it goes.
Yeah.
We haven't, on that DD 11 improvement project, we haven't heard any more from anybody that was gonna mitigate that.
I have not, nope. I've talked to one of the farm manager of the Sunday farms. So he was gonna get back to me, but that was it, so.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good day.
So number 7, discussion with possible action, soil compaction project funding request.
I don't know what you want to do with this. I think I sent it to you, didn't I? Okay.
So is this tied to the pipelines?
I read it last Tuesday, so I gotta remember what I
Yeah.
read that long ago.
What was it, was sending it out?
It was the Iowa State Association of Counties. It's, they wanna do a study about soil compaction on wet soils by Iowa State. They want $600 from each county. And yeah, it has something to do with the pipelines,
$60,000 study.
51,000.
The pipeline should pay for that.
We already know that heavy equipment packs soil.
Okay.
I guess this is backdoor way of stopping a pipeline.
But yeah, that was that's what I had in my head from reading it.
I guess my question is, where would we take it out of our budget?
Well,
I would almost said come out of the like drainage and stuff like that, because that's what you're trying to protect, the soil compaction. And I would
But
assume that
drainage comes out of each district.
Yeah,
It'd almost have to come out of memberships and things like that almost.
yeah.
We're pretty tight on those things, aren't we? Or do we have a little cushion?
let me go grab my budget. Yep. I'm wondering if you could take it out of the miscellaneous in your budget.
Okay, what do we have in that part of it?
Well, you don't have anything. But none of you have gone to
The drainage?
your trainings.
So we could account for it.
Yeah.
I guess I'd be okay with justifying it that way.
No,
And it was Iowa State University doing the study? Guess that's better than Iowa.
it doesn't matter, all 4 Iowa colleges lost last week.
Well, Waldorf didn't.
Well, I'm in the big place.
paid for the kicker from Iowa State. He didn't know it, because we should have paid for the whole team.
Yeah.
So why do we think they're trying to do this?
It's a back, like you said, it's a backdoor way to shut the pipeline that's ahead, and especially this carbon one that they're proposing and everybody's
It's
fighting.
just so that they have some more checks and balances, is what you're saying
Well,
on that?
if they can prove that it's detrimental to the ground, you know, everything's about the environment nowadays.
Then it might bring more revenue to the people that are being forced to have it on their land.
Yeah.
It also says if you have any questions, you can call Bill Peterson on his cell phone.
Is there any reason that we should talk to him during a meeting and call him during a meeting, or?
I think I understand it enough to
Yeah.
where I can make
Okay,
an educated decision on it.
I'm all for helping back the rights of property owners.
You know, there's gonna be a few counties that won't probably sign on, but we got just a few, and it'll still go forward.
and if you think we can use that,
I guess I'll make a motion to approve the $600 funding request for the soil compaction study and take it out of the miscellaneous supervisor's budget.
I'll second it.
I have a motion by Derby, seconded by Jensvold to approve the funding request. All in favor?
I
Motion passed. Let's do payroll claims. What you got going on?
Did you do open forum?
Oh, gosh, I'm jumping around today, I'm so sorry.
Well, you were working late too.
I was working late, yeah. Anything for open forum?
Yes. Not much, just a couple things.
Was that effective?
Did 12/31/20, the end of the year.
That big? That's big.
Julie was very happy that she was gonna give her some time to get somebody in there, so that's good.
And
Yeah, she'll be hard to replace.
it's a little more than 2 week notice.
Yep.
In 4 years, that's a long time. Wow. Gosh, it's gonna be missed in there. So I think Julie said, Julie, are you on?
Yes, I am.
So are you already advertising for that position then?
I was waiting till today, and then I have the ad already ready. Yep. So, yes, you would be definitely hard to replace.
Yeah, it's nice that you can get somebody in there and she can start to train them. That'll be good.
Yep, exactly. So, I will send it to the newspapers, day after the meeting, and then, I sent out a message to the Board of Health members yesterday after I received it, so.
Stop in and I wanna talk to you about that.
The ad before? I sent it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Stop in and talk to me a minute.
Okay, I'll email you what we have written up.
Okay,
So, okay,
thanks, Julie.
you bet.
I'll make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second it.
Motion by Derby and seconded by Jensel to approve payroll claims. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
What, did we get through that?
Yeah, I think
I
it would be
think
a
that's
standard
everything on
adjournment.
my list.
Kind of a hopscotch there.
Yeah, I got a line drawn through everything, so I think we got it.
Okay.
Did you call it done?
Oh, we're adjourned. Thank you.
I kind of put it out there, but